CRT and Turtle Soup's Secrets. Chapter 3. Provide gap below an old low or above an old high equals a high probability turtle soup. Below this old low, we have a provide gap. And this provide gap caused a beautiful reaction to the upside to the overall existing draw on liquidity. And a fair value gap below an old low or above an old high is a very high probability turtle soup. Now, in this chapter, this specific concept is a very high probability and it could be used in any time frame. You could use this on a 4-hour time frame. Fair value gap below, fair value gap above this old high, the high probability turtle soup. So you can use it in any time frame you want, but it varies on the RR. If you use it in a daily time frame, you may get less RR than if you use it in a 4-hour time frame. If you use it in a 4-hour time frame, you may get less RR than you may get less RR if you use it in an hourly time frame. If you use it in an hourly time frame, you may get less RR if you use it on a 15-minute time frame. If you use it in a 15-minute time frame, you may get less RR than if you use it on a 5-minute time frame. So the RR varies, and the lowest time frame you can go on this is the 5-minute time frame. And I do not suggest going down to the 1-minute time frame and looking for this, because you are going to become a bull wreck. Okay. So the lowest time frame you can go for this specific concept is the 5-minute, and this varies on what type of trader you are. And the lower time frame it is, the less probability it is, right? The 1-minute time frame is a lot of candles, right? There's a candle every single minute, so it's very low probability, right? The less candle, the higher the probability. And the lowest candle can go down to the 5-minute. Why don't I say the 1-minute time frame? You can go to 1-minute time frame, but in my ways of trading, I'm a short-term trader, so I target short-term targets, right? My targets are the short-term, weekly. That's a daily CRT high. A weekly CRT high is my overall target goal. Over here, weekly CRT high is my target goal. So my targets are the short-term drawn liquidity. My entries are the day trading / scalping entries. And you're probably wondering, like, is that even possible? Yes, it is, because time for alignment. Once you go from the monthly to the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, then you go down to the what? Either /hour or 15-minute. Then you go down to the what? 5-minute / 15-minute time frame. Then you go take the trade. And if it's a third drive or fake double top, fake double bottom, then you're gonna scale down to the 1-minute time frame, because those have a little bit different type of entries. But the entry pattern doesn't matter if you have the drawn liquidity correct. Once the drawn liquidity is correct, once your higher time frame is correct, the entry pattern doesn't matter. The only thing that matters in the entry pattern is the RR and the stop loss. Everything else doesn't matter because it's gonna work out. The stop loss matters a lot because that's how you're gonna make money. Now, this specific concept is a total soup concept, right? As you guys know, obviously, CRT and total soup secrets. It's not CRT secrets, it is total soup secrets as well. And this is a very high probability concept, which was given out by Romeo. Shout out to him. And most of the secrets are gonna become from him, or coming from him, because it's his fucking concept, which he discovered. And as well as I do have my own concepts, like the bad high, bad low, which we're going to get into it very later on, because most people don't understand it, and I needed a way to know how to say it, or I need a name to it, right? Because it's not like the Romeos or ICTs. It is a third drive, but is a little different, right? And because they always look for a third drive or a fake double tap read the bottom. Mine is different. Mine depends on how the candle closed, how the liquidity pool is created, right? And the rest of it here you can see why did this low not hold? It was not a valid low, right? This was the CRT low. It didn't hold because it's not a valid low. So we push it out. We formed a valid low. Now this had enough liquidity pool to push price up high from here on forward, right? You can see from there on forward, market went up higher. Now you can also state this being a third drive, right? First drive, second drive, third drive. But for that, we already have our entry here, so we don't need that. But even if you were to look for that, you could have not entered the trade because there would be no entry tapped, so you would have missed it out. So the best way to not miss it out is to execute. This was the closest entry we had, right? This is the first entry that popped up, and if it gets tapped, then we're executing that. If it doesn't get tapped, then we're looking for something else, right? And this fair value gap above or below an all high or low, or as I said multiple times here in this video, very high probability. And the best time frame to use it at is 15-minute time frame or the 5-minute. You can use it on a 4-hour hourly time frame, but those does require a little bit different. I don't use it on a 4-hour hourly time frame. Why? Because my trading style is in depth. Basically means I go all the way down to 15-minute or 5-minute or even 1 minute to execute. So I have the right time frame alignment and I constantly scale down, right? But I don't know what time frame they need to scale down from what specific higher time candle to the 4-hour hourly time frame to execute. I simply don't know. So I don't execute it. I do know the 5-minute and the 15-minute, but I don't know the 4-hour, 1 hour. And those does affect your RR because the higher time frame, the bigger the stop loss, the less you make. Right? The less RR you make. You may be a bigger player and make much more, but am I a big player right now? No. So I do need to have this higher RR to make me more gains. So I get in a position where I have a lot of money, right? A lot of capital, a lot of allocations. And how is this formed? How this is? All you gotta look for, how is the fair value gap above an old high or old low? Looks like it's simply like this. Below this old low, there's fair value gap. And the fair value gap, most people forget about this. The fair value gap cannot be filled beforehand. So below this old low, this fair value gap, like during this, let's just say this candle taps the fair value gap. Then this fair value gap, this old low is no longer a fair value gap. You need a fair value gap that's not filled because this will have liquidity pool resting, right? You have liquidity pool resting where the market would tap and orders will get filled and go up higher from there. But if the fair value gap already gets tapped beforehand, the orders are already out. The orders already got filled, so it's no longer valid. Same to the higher time frame. This fair value gap before it got tapped, it never got filled, right? It never got filled by any other candle. So when this candle tapped it, this candle never tapped it, right? I mean, basically, equal, right? So barely equal because it's a little bit below it. So this above this old high, this fair value gap that never got filled. So this is going to be considered a high probably total soup. And how does it look like? This is something like this above this old high. This fair value gap did not get filled. It did not get filled beforehand. So we want this candle to soup it out. Right? Now, is there any other examples I can give you guys here? I'll have to see. Let me see. Like this one as well. Above this old high, there's fair value gap. This fair value gap is a high, probably total soup to the downside, which was the one to deliver that kiss of death to the downside to all the way down here. So focus on the lower time frame. The higher time frame it is, the less R you get. But if you're a bigger player, you need to focus on the higher time frame. If you have like a lot of allocations, when I mean a lot of allocations, not fucking $1 million. $1 million, not a lot of allocations. it needs to be above 5 million or 10 million in order for you to consider you being a high allocated trader. Otherwise, you're not. I mean, even 5 million, 10 million is not that much, by the way. It's not that much. But when it gets to $5, $10 million, you are gonna face a lot of commission and spread problems. So you need to think about the higher time frame and higher stop loss rather than looking at the lower time frame and having a very low stop loss. Because if you enter with a $10 million allocation, right, you enter it, the spread's gonna be crazy, right? Because the more losses you have, the bigger the spread's gonna be. So you're gonna get fucking fucked. So you need to what? What do you need to do? You need to go in a higher time frame and have wire stop loss. So this is chapter 2. Chapter 3, I mean. CRT and Total Secrets. And this trade obviously I took it, right? I already tried to get the execution to it. Already took the trade. And this one I did a live example as well. So this is not a hindsight. This trade I took it, right? I took it. So I took it, made a video about it, right? Provide gap was old low, old low, provide gap, which was the one to deliver to the drawn liquidity. And thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. Make sure you guys join the Telegram link in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.